I'm the children's librarian at the Sterling Public Library, and today I want to share with you 2 middle grade fantasy books from the stacks. So the reason that I love both of the books I'm going to share today is that they're both fantasy books, but they focus a lot more on the characters and what's happening to the people in the story than world building and creating this magnificent setting and this new world with all sorts of different creatures and like rules and everything like that. So the first book that I want to share is called The Troubled Girls of Dragomir Academy by Ursu. This is Ursu's newest book that she's written. And in this world, boys have the potential to become sorcerers. And sorcerers are really important in this story because there's this thing called the Dread that's like this shadowy kind of monster that can destroy entire towns. And so sorcerers are really important in this universe. And when people come to the Lubu house to see if Maria is our main character, to see if her brother has the potential to be a sorcerer, things kind of go crazy, chaos ensues, and it's kind of Maria's fault. And so shortly after all of this chaos breaks loose, they get a letter to the house that Maria is going to be sent to the Dragomir Academy for troubled girls. And she has no choice in the matter. And she goes to the Dragomir Academy and she meets other girls and she learns their stories over time, because they're not actually supposed to talk about their past, but over time she does learn about their stories. And as she learns about the girl's story, she also learns more about the magic and the sorcerers in this world and the men who yield this power and what they're doing with that power. So this book I would really recommend for anyone that likes a little bit of mystery, a little bit of fantasy, even realistic fiction, because it's not so heavy on the fantasy, even though it takes place in this fantasy world. I think it's also a pretty good dose of girl power, if I do say so myself. So that is The Troubled Girls of Dragomir Academy by Ursu. And then the other book that I have to share is called The Ogress and the Orphans by Kelly Barnhill. And Kelly Barnhill actually won the Newbery Medal for The Girl Who Drank the Moon, if any of you have read that. This book takes place in a town called Stone in the Glen. And there's 3 main parts to this story. The first one is the town. So this is a book about a town that used to be lovely, or supposedly used to be lovely, and isn't anymore. The second part is the orphan house, the 2 very old people who run it, and the many children that live there. And then the third part is the Ogress, of course. And this story is about where those 3 things intersect. And really this book is exploring what it means to be a neighbor. And we can explore that even in a world that's not just about humans. There's ogres and dragons and a lot of magic happening. This book was so thought-provoking, and it really read like someone was reading it aloud. And so I think this would be a really great book to read aloud, chapter by chapter. Like maybe you could do this instead of reading a picture book before you go to bed. You could read a chapter before you go to bed, or read it as a family. And the other great thing is that because it has all of these really important themes and questions that Bartleby is one of the orphans that loves philosophy, and so he brings up a lot of sometimes quirky, sometimes very serious questions. Those would be really fun and important to explore as a family too, if you wanted to. So I would say that this book is both heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time, if that is possible. You'll have to read it and let me know if you agree with that. So that was The Ogress and the Orphans by Kelly Barnhill, and then we also had The Troubled Girls of Dragomir Academy by Ursu. If neither of these books sound interesting, please feel free to stop by the library. You can also check out our new SPL book subscription box where you can fill out a survey, and then me or Beth or Ben will pick out books for you. And we would love to help you find books that really do suit what you like to read. And then you can pick those up at the library. And we also have some like goodies and prizes that we put in there too. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to call the library too. And I will see you next time.